Oliver and Olivia were high school friends and had been married for 5 wonderful years. They had a picturesque life in the suburbs, a charming house with a white picket fence, a steady job they enjoyed, and an active social life. Oliver worked as an accountant for one of the top firms in the city. He was a rising star on his way to becoming a partner. Olivia was a 3 RG grade teacher at a local elementary school. She adored her students and found deep satisfaction in the job. At first glance, they represented the quintessential happy couple. But lately, cracks began to appear in their marriage. Oliver began to work more in the office, trying to impress his superiors. Olivia often felt neglected as he prioritized his career. Meanwhile, Olivia was reconnecting with her college friend Brad on social media. What started out as an innocent chat soon turned into a regular correspondence. Brad, recently divorced, began flirting with Olivia and giving her signs of attention. Olivia felt herself getting sucked in, enjoying the fact that someone cared about her again. Olivia realized that she should stop socializing, but she craved a boost in self-esteem. One fateful evening, Oliver came home from work early one morning, tired and in a bad mood after a hard day. All he wanted was a home-cooked meal and to talk. But Olivia was busy texting Brad on the phone, giggling and blushing. Oliver felt a pang of jealousy. He asked who it was that she was texting so passionately. Olivia, startled and defensive, replied that it was just a friend. That immediately made Oliver suspicious. While Olivia was in the other room, he snatched her phone from her to take a look. His worst fears were confirmed. She was actively flirting with another man. Oliver saw the color red. Oliver lashed out at Olivia in a rage, demanding that she explain what was going on. Oliver was caught off guard and tried to downplay the reports as meaningless fun. But Oliver's anger grew as he began to read the messages aloud. He felt betrayed. How could his wife act so meanly behind his back? The argument quickly escalated into a brawl, both yelling at each other. Olivia claimed that nothing physical had happened. It was just virtual flirting. But Oliver was seething with jealousy, his confidence as a husband shattered. He accused Olivia of ruining their marriage because of some fantasies about an ex. Olivia once again felt neglected by Oliver. She angrily threw in his face that at least someone appreciated her. Oliver was hurt after all. He'd provided everything their family needed. This led to even more bitter arguments, that all was not well in their marriage. By the end of the argument, they were exhausted and depleted. Oliver bitterly told Olivia that it was unforgivable. He stormed upstairs and slammed the bedroom door shut. Olivia collapsed on the couch in tears. How had her marriage fallen apart so quickly? The week before Christmas passed in agonizing tension. Oliver ignored Olivia, speaking to her only when absolutely necessary. The loving energy that had once filled their home had been replaced by an icy silence. Olivia tried desperately to make things right. She apologized and vowed that she would do anything to regain Oliver's trust. But Oliver remained withdrawn, still deeply shaken by her betrayal. On Christmas Eve, they decorated the tree in silence. Going about their usual business, Olivia's phone received another text message from Brad. Oliver immediately tensed up. Picking up the phone, he saw that it was another flirtation from Brad. Something inside Oliver shivered. He threw Olivia's phone across the room, smashing it against the wall. Olivia shrieked in fright. Oliver screamed that she was ruining their marriage over some scrappy loser. He stormed out of the house into the cold winter night, leaving Olivia shivering and crying on the living room floor. By the time Oliver got home, it was past midnight. He had already been driving around town for hours, trying to make sense of everything. Olivia was sitting right where he'd left her, next to the remains of the broken phone. She rushed over to him in relief. She was very worried for his safety. Oliver looked at her with sadness and pain in his eyes. The house seemed ghostly empty, not at all the warm family Christmas they had envisioned. Olivia apologized to him again. She promised that she would cut Brad out of her life completely and do everything she could to regain Oliver's trust. She didn't want an innocent reunion to turn into such damage and deceit. Oliver saw genuine remorse in her eyes. No matter how deeply she hurt him, he couldn't imagine a life without Olivia. He tearfully agreed that they needed marriage counseling to sort through the ruins of their relationship. They had a long road of healing ahead of them, but they would walk it together. In the new year, Oliver and Olivia began weekly visits to a psychologist. The sessions were often heartbreaking, as they dealt with the painful resentments that had accumulated in their marriage. All of their previously hidden resentments toward each other came to the surface. There were times when the possibility of reconciliation seemed dim, but they persevered, united in their desire to rebuild their relationship. Gradually, trust began to be rebuilt. Olivia took full responsibility for their emotional affair. She gave Oliver access to all her devices and accounts to prove her commitment to complete transparency. She showed constant empathy for his grief over her betrayal. Oliver worked on letting go of his anger and being more emotionally open. He tried to come home on time, leave his work problems at the office, and show Olivia tenderness on a daily basis. It wasn't an easy road, but they were rediscovering each other. On their wedding anniversary in the summer, they walked hand in hand along the boardwalk where Oliver had proposed to them years ago. No marriage is perfect, but with openness, patience, and love, two broken hearts can become whole again. Over the next year, Oliver and Olivia continued to work hard to rebuild their marriage. There were good days and bad days, but they were determined to see it through. They tried to spend more time together, going on weekend trips, going on dates, and just talking more often. Olivia planned little surprises to show Oliver that she cared about him. Oliver gave Olivia his full attention when they were together, putting his phone away. For Oliver's birthday, Olivia organized a fun scavenger hunt that ended with a private picnic in the park, which reminded them of how they'd met before. Olivia wrote a heartfelt letter talking about their journey together and optimism for their future. Oliver was incredibly touched. Slowly but surely, the trust between them was fully restored. Oliver was no longer haunted by Olivia's messages to Brad. He could see the devotion in her eyes again when she looked at him. Their relationship was new again, as if they had fallen in love with each other for the first time. On a beautiful summer evening, they renewed their vows in an intimate lakeside ceremony with close friends and family. The trials they had endured in the past had made their commitment to each other that much deeper. Their marriage became even stronger, able to withstand the inevitable ups and downs. In the years that followed, Oliver and Olivia made a comfortable and happy life together. They tried to keep seeing each other, found new common interests and adventures. A few years later, Olivia gave birth to their first child, their daughter Emma. Becoming parents, Olivia further strengthened their love and brought new joy to their marriage. Oliver was a caring and practical father. Olivia loved that he cared for their daughter with such tenderness. In time, Emma became a big sister when Olivia had a son named Noah. The family of four had wonderful memories, trips to the zoo, vacations at the beach, and weekend hikes. Oliver and Olivia felt blessed to have found their way to each other and built this life. On their 15th wedding anniversary, they returned to the lakeside cabin where they renewed their vows. They laughed as they reminisced about all they had been through over the years. Even though there were fights and problems in their lives, their loyalty to each other remained unwavering. Oliver and Olivia lived out their days in love, cherishing the family they had created. Their marriage was living proof that true forgiveness and compromise can overcome even the most difficult challenges. They found in each other an unbreakable partner for life. Several years passed after Oliver and Olivia rebuilt their marriage. One day, Olivia received a message on social media that made her freeze. It was from Brad, her longtime lover. Even though she hadn't communicated with him in years, she was still overcome with guilt. Brad's message was quite innocent. He had recently returned to their hometown due to a new job. He wanted to grab a coffee to catch up. Olivia knew she should ignore the message out of respect for Oliver, but she was curious as to what Brad was up to after all these years. After pondering for a few days, Olivia decided to meet with Brad in person and let him know that she was happy with Oliver and nothing more could happen between them. Olivia suggested meeting at some busy cafe so that their meeting would be quick. The following week, Olivia entered the cafe with dread, but when she saw Brad, she was surprised he didn't look well. He had lost weight and looked frail. When they met, Brad revealed that he was sick with cancer. Olivia's heart sank. It had been a few years since Oliver and Olivia had rebuilt their marriage. One day, Olivia received a message on social media that made her freeze. It was from Brad, her former lover. Even though she hadn't communicated with him in years, she was still overcome with guilt. Brad's message was quite innocent. He had recently returned to their hometown due to a new job. He wanted to grab a coffee to catch up. Olivia knew she should ignore the message out of respect for Oliver, but she was curious as to what Brad was up to after all these years. After pondering for a few days, Olivia decided to meet with Brad in person and let him know that she was happy with Oliver and nothing more could happen between them. Olivia suggested meeting at some busy cafe so that their meeting would be quick. The following week, Olivia entered the cafe with dread, but when she saw Brad, she was surprised he didn't look well. He had lost weight and looked frail. When they met, Brad revealed that he was sick with cancer. Olivia's heart snapped. In the months that followed, Olivia and Brad met occasionally for innocent conversations. Olivia made sure to always warn Oliver that she was dating Brad so that there would be no secrecy. Oliver was wary of this at first, but then became sympathetic as Brad was clearly unwell. One day, Olivia came home from a meeting with Brad and told Oliver the devastating news that Brad's cancer was incurable. He only had a few months to live, and he had no family left to take care of him. Oliver saw the pain in Olivia's eyes. As much as it pained him, he knew that she would have a lifetime of regret for not supporting Brad in his final days. Olivia was very grateful for Oliver's compassion. She visited Brad regularly at his home, helping with chores and providing companionship. Oliver joined her on occasion as well. Under these tragic circumstances, they were able to forgive Brad completely and wish him peace. During the final weeks of Brad's life, Oliver and Olivia were by his side in hospice care. Although Brad had caused them great pain in the past, they could only sympathize with him now, as his life came to an end. Brad sincerely thanked them for their forgiveness and friendship as his life faded away. He passed away peacefully one evening, Olivia holding one hand and Oliver holding the other. At the funeral, they both talked about the heartbreaking experience they were about to go through. Olivia and Oliver left with heavy but healed hearts. Caring for Brad in his final chapter ultimately helped Olivia finally come to terms with that period of her past. She realized how blessed Oliver's patience and understanding had been. This painful journey had only strengthened their love.